Issue 1, GOP block and tackle. Question, is the Senate stalemate politically more advantageous for the Republicans or more politically advantageous for the Democrats?
I think this is really more of a problem for the Democrats than for the Republicans. The Democrats were elected to end this war, and to the extent that they either renege on that pledge or they take their time or they seem ineffective, then it hurts them more than the Republicans. The onus is on the Democratic leadership to be able to force showdowns with the president, to force the president to veto things, to cut off his funding for things like the war or for anything else. And I think to the extent that they are failing to make progress in the ending of the war, it's a worse reflection on them.
Hey, the human face of war.
People up there in Congress with the brain of a 2-year-old who don't know what they're doing, they don't experience it. I challenge the president or whoever has us here for 15 months to ride alongside me. I'll do another 15 months if he comes out here and rides along with me every day.
Soldiers representative of the morale of our military in Iraq.
Even if you accept the premise, which I do, that our military personnel, our rank and file military personnel, are incredibly brave and loyal and dedicated and patriotic, and even if you accept the premise, which I do not, that they are the best of the best, we've been lowering our standards, especially the Army, for quite some time. Look, they're human beings, and they wear out, they get tired, they get frustrated, they get homesick. That's perfectly reasonable and perfectly understandable. And you have people there who, A, were National Guardsmen who never thought that they would be sent overseas. You have people who were subjected to the stop-loss phenomenon, and they're being sent for 3, 4, 5 tours. They're being sent from the Guard. So, of course, morale is going to be in the gutter. And this is Muslims blowing up Muslims in Allah's name. It is time to have a minimal force to secure the Iraqi government that we created, the supposedly democratic government. And if it comes down to a bloodbath because it's Muslims blowing up Muslims, hey, that's why they call it the religion of peace.
Intuition that George Bush is happy with Secretary Gates' show of emotion, or is he perturbed by it?
The idea of putting the human face on the soldiers and on the casualties cuts both ways, because the Republicans and the president can say, do we want these soldiers who have died to have died for nothing, to be wasted lives, or do you go with the Democratic argument of no more of this, let's stop this now, we're at 36, 32 last time I checked. It can play either way if it were a game.
Is there an embedded message in Gates' tears?
Is it a scripted message? No, I don't think so. Is it the message that Gates was not one of the original architects of this war? Quite possibly. The president has said quite clearly this war is going to be going on after he leaves office. So this says more about Gates the man than it does about President Bush or about the administration, certainly.
The question, which group of bitterly divided sectarians will compromise first? The Republicans and the Democrats in America, or the Sunnis, Shias, and Kurds in Iraq?
Our involvement in Iraq will end long before Muslims stop blowing Muslims up. That's a given.
Issue 2, an inconvenient truth. Question, is Vitter's Senate seat secure?
Of course it's secure. Vitter is in the minority. He's not in the leadership. This is more of an embarrassment. He might as well just stay where he is. There had been talk that he might have been a vice presidential candidate for whoever the Republican nominee is. That's out the window. But no, he'll just lay low. It will not be enough to oust him, probably even in re-election. Certainly not now. There's no reason.
Question, does a celebrity or a politician have a right to demand privacy from the media in circumstances such as these?
I have blogged about this relentlessly. If you want to have a private life, stay a private person. You don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to enjoy all the trappings of having a public life and controlling other people's lives as a politician, and then get to say that what I do behind closed doors is nobody's business. It's absolutely preposterous.
Quick exit question. Is
I
it your
think we're judging
intuition
him
that
by
this
his
is the
public
last we will
policies.
hear about Senator Vitter's subterranean life, if that's what it is? Or is there more to come? Another shoe to drop?
There was more than one shoe to drop with Mark Foley. There was more than one shoe to drop with Ted Haggard. So I suspect there are more shoes to be found with Vitter. Whether they are found, who knows?
Prediction?
Neither vice presidential candidate, Democrat or Republican, will be a current presidential candidate.
Bye-bye.